Developing now, Joran Vandersloot's days as a free man could be numbered. Right now, an appeals court in Aruba is deciding whether or not the prime suspect in Natalee Holloway's disappearance can be detained by police once again. A ruling could be made at any time, but the judges have a few more days to decide. The reopening of this nearly 3-year-old case comes after a Dutch crime reporter managed to do what no one else could, get Joran to talk. John Q. Kelly is the attorney for Natalee's mother, Beth. He joins us now. John, you know, Aruba seems to be very slow on a Joran arrest. How much more of a confession would he have to make to get himself arrested?
I don't think you need anything else, John. I mean, let's look at the facts.
Exactly. Thank you.
Let's look at the facts we're absolutely certain of. First of all, Joran goes to a bar a half hour before closing. He buys and pays for and hands one girl one drink. Lo and behold, that one girl is the one that leaves with him and gets into a car. By all accounts, she's incoherent. She's lapsing in and out of consciousness.
You said she's drugged?
Her behavior suggests it, John.
Highly possible.
He's the last one with her alive. He fabricates a story the next day as to not being with her. We know he totally makes up the story about dropping her off at the Holiday Inn. Now it comes out that he says she had seizures, and you do one of two things. You either call for help at the time, which he didn't do for some reason, and if you attribute that to youth or panicness or something like that, you, after the fact, cooperate. It's clear that he did not want her body found for a particular reason. I would have to think that he was responsible for her death. And all the circumstantial evidence,
right.
Sure, the evidence would be in the body. You don't want the body found.
John,
yeah.
What about Joran's father, Paulus?
Well, you know, there's been a lot of speculation on that, John, and you know, it was someone that Joran trusted a lot.
Right.
You know, when you have a body on your hands,
and
to make a call and say that I've got this girl, she's had seizures, she's not breathing, she's with me, I need help. You've got to call someone you trust. You've got to call someone you're very close to.
And someone who knows the law. That doesn't hurt at all, who's obviously connected in the island. Someone that you're willing to protect and not give a name, even when you give a confession in a car to your friend.
Okay, you two lawyers, aside from the circumstances.
Well, one other thing, Kimberly.
We like the evidence, John.
Well,
Stay
Kimberly,
with us.
I one of the, as you recall, he said in his videotape that someone gave him a cell phone while he was in prison.
That's right.
Which was his father, who he obviously
violating the rules.
And also wanted to stay in communication with. Well, Joran was locked up being questioned. Paulus was being questioned before he was arrested. They want a line of communication. Now, I guess the father, if you want to put all this to rest, could take a lie detector test or something like that to appease everybody, but it doesn't seem like he's answering questions right now.
Leveled these questions to the father?
I don't know. I would hope so, or I would propose right here now that it be put to him that he could clear up the air by doing something like that.
Isn't it about high time that they actually bring him in for some questioning and talk to him about this?
I would like for them to have another conversation with him. If they haven't by now, I would hope they would. There's no reason they shouldn't, John.
I mean, because he's a judge, or was a judge in training there? Is he getting preferential treatment, not being questioned because he is sort of an insider in the system?
Well, it turns out now there are a lot of accounts that the day after Natalee disappeared, right after Joran was questioned, you had law enforcement officers who interviewed Joran asking about whether Natalee had seizures or was prone to them. So they obviously knew something too and wanted to protect someone's son or a young man on the island.
Well, it seems like the majority of people in terms of the court of public opinion are convinced that, hey, this kid is complicit. He had something to do with this. He obviously gave this statement that was incredibly incriminating. So when is the re-arrest? When are we going to be able to see the next action in this case?
I don't know. You know, it took them 6 months to search the sand dunes, as you recall, and it took them 2 years to arrest him last time. So they moved pretty slowly down there, but I think the evidence is compelling. I think if you compact it and look at the strict circumstantial evidence that we know to be fact, there's plenty to work with there, John and Kimberly.
Well, when it happens, it's going to happen soon, and we will be following John Q. Kelly. It's always good to see you, John. Thanks very much.
Good seeing you, John.
Thanks,
Kimberly,
John.
sure.